do for you today?
I'm right now working nights at a job I just picked up recently, but it really actually interferes with my ability to have time with my children. I was wondering, do you foresee or pull up any ideas of either when I'll transfer to a day job or they're going to transfer me to days? Either changing jobs or changing shifts, one of the two in the near future, so I can spend more time with my kids.
Oh, I appreciate that, of course. And that's such an important area for your life. As I tap into this vibe with you, Larry, this could take another 3 months or so before you start getting this change available for you. Yeah, I feel like you already have a request in with those you work for, but keep on top of that. But again, it could take upwards of about 3 more months. If it turns out to be 3 to 4 weeks, yahoo! But definitely just keep that in prayer and just keep focusing on that for that beautiful outcome you're looking for. And I do believe that's going to turn around for you. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's just a matter of the timing of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, shoot. No problem. I know it's going to come to pass, so at least you're not stuck, which is a good thing. Is there anything else I can touch on for you today, Larry?
I feel there's a bit of a competition financially with my in-laws and my ex-wife and myself and my children. Am I actually seeing a ghost? Is this really a problem that there's actually like a financial struggle between the kids and myself as I'm out buying them with gifts? Or am I just imagining things?
I do find it interesting that the pattern of gifts, as you put it, that are being given to the children has increased since you and your spouse have separated. Don't fall into that mode. You have terrific kids. I've met them both. They're wonderful children, and you just got to keep it real because, as you know, ultimately it's the time we spend together and that aspect of our interconnection with our love and all of that. That's what really matters, ultimately. And I try not to blow it out of proportion, but, Larry, oftentimes this kind of pattern pops up when people separate. I think part of it comes from a sense of almost wanting to overcompensate for the children because the parties involved perhaps are a little bit more concerned about their emotional state and things like that. I don't necessarily feel that it's something malicious per se, but I do know that this conflicting energy regarding this area could get a little touchy. So be wise how you respond to it. Fighting fire with fire, so to speak, or trying to out-purchase or that's just silly. It's not going to work. And not only that, though, the children will see right through it.
Okay. All right, great.
Yeah, that's exactly what kind of you just be that great, awesome dad you are, and, that's what the kids are going to require. They both love you a lot. Larry, thank you so much for calling in today.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. God bless. Help you with?
Okay. We're kind of working on, our family's trying to get a house. We're working on credit and stuff. We found this house we really like. They say we're not approved until December. We're just kind of wondering if we're going to get this house or how are things going to go, if it's not going to happen.
Oh, sure. You are going to be moving for sure this year. Okay?
Oh, this year?
Yeah, you should be able to pull it off this year. Now, let me ask you a quick question, just to make sure I've got this correctly. The house that you're trying to purchase, it is in Oregon, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure on that. It does appear...
It's kind of like, it seems like it's more towards Idaho, but you could go almost right into Payette.
Oh, sure. As I tap into the energy of this crystal, the house that you're looking at, you have a very, very positive and very strong possibility of getting that house.
Okay.
And yeah, so keep plugging forward with that.
Okay.
I do know that there's a lot of great vibes coming towards you with movement. Now, with the property I do see with you, it does require a little bit of that TLC, so to speak, where you might have to freshen the property up.
It's got a lot of property with a lot of work.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so I'm real pleased about that. You just have to keep plugging forward. Make sure that you're on when it comes to your ability to manifest through your faith and really just being on point with that. And it's the nature of the beast is what's going on here. Keep your options open.
Okay, because we're working with his credit, and the credit is just crappy.
Yeah, it does.
We're just hoping it's a rent to own. We're begging that it's a rent to own.
Mm-hmm. Well, that I'm not sure of, but your possibilities are so strong of pulling this off. So you just got to keep plugging forward with that and do the steps that are being asked to do, and you guys, again, should be able to pull this off.
Okay.
All right? So
all right, and then the other thing I have to ask is, my aunt is like, she is dying of cancer, brain cancer, and we're just wondering, is she just going to keep on dragging this out for a while, or is it going to just hopefully become really quick right now? Yeah, my mom really wants to know. She's really getting tired of going down there.
Oh, I'm sure, and I know you speak from love, and
yeah,
you know, you and
it's
your family.
It's just really getting hard on my mom, and she's just praying that it goes quick right now.
Right. Well, of course, because you don't want the aunt to suffer and go through all of this.
That's the main thing. It's just getting really hard on herself, like on Vanessa. It's just getting really hard on her.
Oh, of course. And, dealing with an illness such as brain cancer or any type of illness, or, cancers or what have you, is so difficult. But, as I tap into this, say your aunt's name again to me.
Vanessa.
Well, sweetheart, she could be around a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah, no, seriously.
She's got her native blood hanging in there, huh?
Yeah, really. But, she could be around for several more months. I do believe at this point she is probably going to cross over and go home, is what it does appear at this point.
Okay.
All right? And so I'm going to encourage our listeners today, those who are tuned in, to keep your Aunt Vanessa, who's battling brain cancer, in their prayers. That she'll make
Thank you so much, David.
It was a pleasure. God bless, Crystal, and thanks so much for calling in. Good to hear from you this morning. What can I help you with?
Well, I got two things. First of all, my son moved over here from Oregon.
Oh, congrats.
And there seems to be a lot of anger issues going on. I don't know what Dad did with him, but kind of having a tough time reaching him.
Diane, honestly, sweetie, as I tap into this, these anger issues that you described that your son's dealing with, that should not be a surprise to you. It really shouldn't.
It's not that the intensity is. Not so much
the intensity level. Okay, now that I agree with. But this is just going to take time. It's that sense of what your son wishes was going on, what he hoped would be going on, and what actually is happening are all in different directions, and it's really getting on his nerves. What he needs actually is just room to vent, and he also needs to start learning tools of communication and to get past what he, from his own free will, is choosing to hold on to. That's one of the greatest challenges there for him. He really should consider getting time in meditation and prayer and trying to allow himself to analyze things but let go of those areas that he cannot control and move forward. One of the challenges with him, Diane, he is not always willing to focus on where he perhaps has dropped the ball or made error, but he will focus on troubling areas where others have brought problems, and that's where he amplifies those things. But putting that to the side, I believe things are going to start mellowing out for him over the next 3 to 4 weeks, for sure. Also, one of his challenges is a lack of financial connection, too. How old is he?
14.
Yeah. This is going to be okay. He needs tools. He needs room to talk, to just really start getting things cleared up. But, the other thing, his age, I think is going to be part for this. But the bottom line with all of this, Diane, is that this cycle of anger and the intensity level of it is going to start softening and dissipating. It's not a permanent state with him. Being 14, it just reminds me of this phrase, too young to be old, too old to be young. You know what I mean? It's that awkwardness there, but he's so fortunate to have you as a mom. You have such a good vibration regarding him, the way you guys, connect your energy. It's just going to take a little bit more time. And, obviously you don't need to, allow him to cross the line with his verbiage or behavior regarding you, for example, or anything like that. But overall, it's going to be fine. He just needs some time to talk, to make sense of some of these areas that he's dealing with. It's not what he wants. That's just part of the bottom line here. Can I ask you a question, Diane? Is he, at times, does he come off being a little stubborn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Because I feel, that sense of being stubborn is part of his lessons, and I also have to let go of it, the stubborn part. But, it makes me wonder. I have a sense that anger is really probably one of the areas he's here to overcome in his life. And the best way to do that is to be in an experienced realm of that very issue. But I know he's a terrific young man, and he is going to be able to move forward. But gently bring out suggestions, let him vent, try to get him to think. Because it's one thing to have frustration of emotion and anger and just to throw stuff out, but why did you get to that point? What, to really break up those issues and to analyze them and get to the core of why he's choosing to respond. And I think a good portion of this is going to boil down to control with him.
Okay.
What he wants, what he has, they're just vastly different areas, and I think that's part of it for him as well. But, Diane, like I said, you're a great mom. You're doing a terrific job. Just keep plugging along.
I try.
Yeah, you're doing good. So my hat's off to you for that one, sweetie.
May I ask you one more question, honey?
Okay. What is it?
Ron is somewhat back in the picture. What do you see?
Oh, for you mean?
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Well, it's interesting. When you mention Ron's name, he being back in the picture is actually not something you're against. You're not opposed to this. When you mentioned his name, I did feel a sense of positive from your perspective of going Yahoo. I think you're going to continue to move forward with this to see the potential of what can develop. It's obvious things have changed with you and him and the dynamic of Ron all the way around. There has been some changes there. But Diane, you're sharp. You've got a good mind, a good heart. I think you're smart enough to know what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. You keep plugging forward.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honey. God bless. Thanks for tuning in today, honey. I appreciate it. What can I do for you?
Well, I just want a general reading.
Oh, Beth, honey, nothing is general with me.
I know that.
Yeah, thanks for laughing. I can cover any topic with you, obviously. But, the first couple of things that come in mind, there's a male, carries a very paternal energy, could be your dad or your dad's dad, I'm not sure, who's in spirit, who's trying to come through with a sense of encouragement and letting you know that you're not, I guess I would say, stuck or something like that.
Okay.
Also, as I move forward, I do see you connecting with children, and it's going to be a very, very positive connection with you all the way around. Do you have little children in your life under the age of 10?
My next door neighbors have children that I interact with.
Okay. This also could indicate, thank you for that, this also could indicate these younger kids that some projects and things you've been plugging towards are going to start bearing terrific fruit for you as you move forward. I do find also your energy level physically seems to be on a good even kiln as I move forward. There it goes again. Did your dad pass over?
My dad did.
Because this man is indicating, Dad, you're going to have communication with him over the next several months, and his presence is going to be very, very strong with you. So I'm pleased about that, honey, all the way around. It's a real positive connection. He is indicating someone's birthday is about to come up, and there's some celebration there as well. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about how proud he is of you. He's now in a ha-ha sort of way with a little bit of humor telling me that you're a little on the stubborn side. He finds that wonderful, actually.
That sounds more like my brother than my dad.
Oh, no, this is Dad for sure. For sure.
Really?
Yeah, if you have a brother who crossed over, because your dad was blaming it on your mother, but he thinks it's funny and he's winking, So for Dad to be playful, I know that's not a big issue. Comes to a brother, I don't have anything connected brother-wise right now that I'm sensing, but that doesn't mean he's not visiting,
I know.
As I move forward, also, the only other thing I'm going to touch on with you today is that you'll like the pace of how you feel productive. And the other thing I like, which to me is refreshing here, Beth, is that there's plenty of time for you to be playful, take some time for Beth to mellow out and relax and, really take some good spiritual time with God. And I do see you connecting with nature, which is going to be very, very important for you. But anyway, Beth, thanks for being you. You're a lovely soul. You've got a great heart. And very warm. I like the warmth of your presence. It's terrific. Well, Beth, I want to thank you so much for calling in today, sweetie. We are at the top of our show. I'll look forward to talking to you again.
Okay. Thank you, David.
Take care, honey. God bless.